There's a dude named Duncan Trussell. The Duncan Trussell Effect is another podcast right here. Spreaker Podcast. And I don't know, he might even be one of Ari's buddies. But Duncan, nah, I don't see it. I don't see it. Duncan has more of a Buddhist attitude, man. I like people like that. I like, I listen to a lot of, I like mixed martial arts. And so I listen to a lot of programming that has to do with mixed martial arts. So you have a lot of fighters on the air. And I can tell you that they're some of the most composed and some of the nicest people that you would meet. I mean, some of the people that know that they could just rip your head off in a moment are some of the nicest people that you can meet because it takes the right temperament. You know what I'm saying? Like in Roadhouse, you don't have the right temperament for the trade. What am I supposed to do? There's always barber college. Uh-oh.
Don't ever sneak up behind me like that. Kids can have heart attacks too, you know.
We weren't sneaking up. And what are you doing chewing a big wad of gum like that?
I have a big mouth. We already know that. What kind of gum is that? Spearmint muscatel?
Yeah, smell it too, Arnold. You got booze on your breath.
It's only wine. What do you mean only wine? What are you doing drinking any kind of alcohol? What's the big deal? Everybody drinks wine in France. You're not in France.
And if Dad finds out that you've been drinking, you're going to wish you were in Siberia.
He's drinking that dick.
You don't have to tell him. I mean, why give him something to worry about? It's not like you're going to find me sleeping in the gutter with a red nose and a 3-day growth of beard.
What the fuck, man? Oh, Arnold, man, getting his drink off. Some purple drink. Kicking it. The bicycle shop. The man cave. The YMCA in the Navy. Can sell the 7 C's in the Navy. Man, we got some rickety old motherfucking contraptions rolling up in this bitch. I'm gonna have to put this shit on pause and take the old 45 for a patrol around outside because it's 12:07 a.m. Ain't nobody running off with any of my shit. Somebody stole some 4-wheelers up in this bitch the other night from down the road. So hold on, we'll be right back after these brief messages. Okay, on from Different Strokes, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about Different Strokes because another celebrity kind of disappointed me because there's a gentleman that came over here from Australia in the 90s as a professional skateboarder, and he came over here as a professional skateboarder, and he became friends with Tony Hawk. His name is Jason Ellis, at EllisMate. You can check it out. He's also on SiriusXM, the Jason Ellis channel, the Jason Ellis Show. I've always been a fan of Jason Ellis. He's thorough, he's out there, but he's honest. He puts his cards on the table, and he's into the extreme sports. He was, like I said, he was a pro skateboarder, but he's into motocross, and now he races side-by-sides and stuff like that. Anyway, I've always had mad respect for Jason Ellis, and he's always had the same goal, and that was to have his radio show on SiriusXM and to make a living doing the crazy stuff that he does. Okay, so rocking and rolling. You can listen to it yourself. Listen to the Andrew Dice Clay interview, with Jason Ellis, and let me know what you think, because Andrew Dice Clay came onto the show and they had a good interview. And then he introduced his 2 sons and their band, and you can review their band for yourself, and you can listen to that interview for yourself, and we'll talk about that a little bit on the next show. Or maybe what I'll do, let me write that down. Audio Nuggets. ADC Audio Nuggets. For number 79. We'll get into that on Robcast number 79. So do yourself a favor. Follow Jason Ellis at EllisMate. You can actually get SiriusXM. I did not know this, but you can get SiriusXM, the app, put it on your phone, and you can listen to the Jason Ellis Show for free on there. It'll give you tidbits and interviews and stuff like that. And some of it is the latest stuff, some of it isn't, but definitely you can check it out. And I don't know if you listen to Howard Stern, also, right there, Sirius XM. But anyway, the Jason Ellis Show. Listen to the Andrew Dice Clay interview and let me know what you think. If you think that Jason Ellis was out of line or not in that interview, and we'll play a little bit of that on the next show, and we'll get a little bit more into that. But now to the present, to the topic at hand, to what I've been thinking about, and I haven't thought about it in a long time. Okay, until I listened to late night radio right here at Spreaker Podcast. I listened to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church. If you liked the old Art Bell and George Norrie and Coast to Coast AM and all that kind of stuff, I would definitely encourage you to listen to Spaced Out Radio, We Own the Night, and Jimmy Church, Fade to Black. Okay, it's good programming, and what I do like about those two shows, and what I've begun to understand about the whole experience or paranormal world, if you will, is that they are, you may hear a lot of crazy things, you may hear a lot of crazy stories, but these are very open-minded people that are very accepting, and they're very nice people. And I think that says a lot whenever you think outside, whenever you're not, I can't say that I've ever experienced like a UFO or anything like that, but I can say that I have respect for these whenever you get into a chat room and chat with some of these people, and while you can be hearing some of the craziest things in the world, but all of the community in these chat rooms are all very, I just would want to say, very forthcoming and I don't know, like an accepting society of people. I don't know. It's kind of cool. Anyway, okay. But anyway, I was listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, and he had a gentleman on named, oh goodness. But you can listen to the King. Hold on 1 second. It's The Knights of the King's Realm on YouTube. And the dude, I have to admit that the guy, he tells this story that, you can listen to a story. Listen to Knights of the King's Realm. And it was, is Elvis alive? Is the question. Could Elvis possibly be alive? See, that's the thing that what this gentleman brought up on Fade to Black, and don't let that be just I don't know, Fade to Black. He has all kinds of different people on there. Don't let me be a representative for him. I'm just saying that I really like Jimmy Church. He was an old-time badass guitarist from back in the day, and he's I don't know, just seems like they're a super cool dude. But really, definitely, listening to his interview with this gentleman. Okay, but anyway, to briefly summarize what he was saying, It was that he was saying that he thought that he was in contact with someone that he thought was Elvis on Facebook. He said that he works at a Cracker Barrel and Elvis came in and he served him dinner. And this got me to thinking. I remember back in the day, back in the early 80s or whatever, that there was a big conspiracy theory is Elvis Presley still alive? Is Elvis Presley still alive? And I thought, after all these years, I thought to myself, surely this is not something that people are still entertaining the thought of, correct? I mean, I don't know. So I listened to this guy and I listened to him say some of his theories about the number one question that you would have is, if you had everything, if you had all the fame in the world and all the money in the world, then why on earth would you fake your own death? And the way that he, I would say, listen, go to the Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, and it was one of the last few episodes. I'm going to say the last 6 or 7 episodes. And the guy's name, I believe, is Richard. I don't have it in my notes, but you can also go to YouTube and just type in Knights of the King's Realm, and it's the same gentleman, Richard something or another. I don't mean any disrespect to the gentleman. I just don't happen to have it in my notes right here, and I apologize. Pardon me. So I had to go down the rabbit hole. And I asked myself, after listening to a 3-hour interview of this gentleman that was thoroughly convinced that Elvis Presley was still alive, why would it be that he could still be alive? And he was, from what this gentleman said, that he was waiting for the right moment to properly come out into the public, and that actually he was trying to let the public know that he was still alive. However, there were certain powers that be were not allowing it to happen. And you might ask yourself, I asked myself, what are the things that might contribute to the conspiracy that Elvis Presley could still be walking on this earth today as a living, breathing human being? The very first thing that people point out is the spelling of Elvis Presley's name. Elvis Aaron Presley. Elvis, A-R-O-N, with 1 A. It's spelled with 1 A on his driver's license. It's spelled with 1 A. Aaron, with 1 A, in his military records. However, when he passed away, the spelling of his name on his gravesite is Aaron with 2 A's, A-A-R-O-N. If you have unlimited funds, isn't this something that you think that the executor of the state, his father at the time, would have corrected? Do you think that he would fake his own death to get away from the fandemonium and from the super fame? There was also rumored that a terminally ill patient that was paid very, very, put it this way, it was alleged that this terminally ill patient was paid a sum that would take care of the rest of his family for the rest of their lives if he would go ahead and have plastic surgery, etc., to look like Elvis Presley. And then whenever he passed away, that was whatever date, 1977, and as soon as this terminally ill patient passed away, that's whenever they staged the Kings of Rock and Roll's death. Alleged. We can also get into Elvis's affiliation with law enforcement and Elvis's affiliation with the DEA. Now, you and I thought that maybe that was something that was just kind of an honorary thing, but other people tend to think that it was something